Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire the world had ever seen. He had everything: absolute power, infinite wealth, armies that shook the ground when they marched. And in the middle of all of it, he sat down alone and wrote the words, "I am afraid I am becoming someone worse." Not a weak man, not a failure. The most powerful human being alive, afraid of losing himself. That one line should stop you cold. Because if he felt that, with everything he had, then maybe the problem was never about what you have or don't have. Maybe it was always about something else entirely, something most people spend their whole lives running from without ever knowing what they're running from. These are 7 lessons from his private journals. Not the ones that get quoted in every video, the ones that actually hurt to read, the ones he wrote for himself at his lowest when nobody was watching. The first lesson is about approval and how quietly it destroys you. Marcus noticed something in the people around him. The senators, the generals, the advisors, they were all performing, every word calculated, every gesture designed for an audience. And he saw himself doing the same thing, adjusting his opinions based on who was in the room, softening his truth to keep the peace. And he called it out in his journal with a ferocity that feels personal even today. He wrote that a man who needs applause to feel whole has handed the keys to his own soul to strangers. Think about that slowly. Every time you change what you say because of who's listening, every time you swallow your real opinion to avoid conflict, every time you perform a version of yourself that's easier for others to digest, you are paying rent to live in your own life. And the landlord is everyone except you. Marcus spent years clawing back his own opinion of himself from the grip of other people's validation. He never fully won that battle, but the fact that he kept fighting it, kept naming it, kept catching himself, that's the lesson, not the victory, the fight. The second lesson is about difficult people, and Marcus Aurelius had more of them than you ever will. Corrupt senators trying to undermine him, generals with private agendas, a son, his own blood, who showed signs early of cruelty and selfishness. And Marcus made a decision that sounds almost impossible. He decided to understand before he reacted. He wrote that every morning he reminded himself that he would encounter ungrateful people, dishonest people, jealous people, violent people. And he did this not to harden himself against them, but to stop being surprised by them. Because the moment you stop being surprised by human weakness, you stop being controlled by it. Most people waste enormous energy being outraged by other people's behavior, shocked that someone lied, devastated that someone was selfish. Marcus said, "Why are you shocked? This is what people do sometimes. This is what we all do sometimes. Meet it with understanding or meet it with firmness, but stop meeting it with disbelief. Disbelief is just suffering you didn't have to choose." The third lesson is this: comfort is not your friend. It is your slow replacement. This one is uncomfortable to sit with, and that's exactly the point. Marcus lived in an era of extraordinary Roman luxury, feasts that lasted days, bathhouses, entertainment, every possible physical pleasure available at arm's reach, and he was terrified of it. Not because pleasure is evil, but because he watched what it did to people over time. He watched men who were once sharp become soft, once honest become dishonest, once brave become cowardly. Not through any dramatic fall, just through the slow daily choice of ease over effort. He wrote about his own mornings, how the bed felt good, how the warmth made it easy to stay still, and he asked himself a question that has no comfortable answer. If you cannot win a fight against your own blanket, what exactly do you think you are capable of? The rot of comfort is that it happens so gradually you don't notice until something hard arrives and you reach for the strength that used to be there. and your hand closes on nothing. The fourth lesson is this: the version of yourself you keep waiting to become is being built right now in the choices nobody sees. There is no future transformation. There is no moment where it all clicks and you finally become disciplined, finally become kind, finally become the person you keep promising yourself you'll be. Marcus understood this with a clarity that bordered on ruthless. He wrote that a man's character is not revealed in crisis. Crisis just shows you what was already there. What's being built right now in the small invisible moments? How you speak when you're tired, how you work when no one is checking, how you treat people who can do nothing for you. That is the architecture of who you actually are, not who you intend to be, who you are. He held himself to this every single day, and he still felt like he was falling short, but he never stopped holding himself to it. That's the difference between a man who grows and a man who just gets older. The fifth lesson is this: stop explaining yourself to people who have already decided what you are. Marcus had enemies who wrote vicious things about him while he was alive. People who twisted his actions, questioned his motives, painted him as weak or as a tyrant depending on what served them that day. And his response, documented, consistent, almost eerie in its discipline, was to do nothing. Not because he was passive, because he understood something most people never do. Explanation is only useful when the other person is actually listening. When someone has already decided, your words don't land, they just feed the argument. The only thing that answers a lie about your character over time is your character over time. Nothing else works. Nothing else ever has. He wrote, "Never waste words on people who deserve only silence and results." The sixth lesson is this: you are allowed to start over, today, without ceremony. This one is quieter than the others, but it might be the one that saves someone watching this. Marcus failed constantly. He lost his temper with people he loved. He made political decisions he later regretted. He was sometimes impatient, sometimes vain, sometimes petty, and he wrote about all of it with an honesty that is almost hard to read. But what he never did, not once in all those pages, was use yesterday's failure as permission to fail again today. He wrote that a person can begin again at any moment. No ritual required, no waiting for the right day, no grand declaration, just a quiet internal decision that this moment, not the last one, is where you're starting from. Most people don't believe they deserve that. They carry the weight of their worst moments like a sentence. Marcus said, "Put it down," not because it doesn't matter, but because dragging it with you doesn't make it matter more. It just makes you weaker for what comes next. The seventh lesson, and this is the one he returned to more than any other: do not wait to be worthy of your own life. This is the hardest one because it asks the most of you. Marcus wrote about the tendency, in himself, in everyone, to live conditionally, to say, "I will be fully present when things settle down. I will pursue what matters when I have more time, more money, more certainty. I will let myself be happy when the conditions are right." And he called this what it is: a theft. You are stealing from yourself. Every day you spend waiting to begin your real life is a day your real life was happening and you were absent from it. He didn't write this from a place of having figured it out. He wrote it because he kept catching himself doing it. A man with every resource imaginable, still postponing his own life, still waiting for some invisible permission to arrive. The permission never arrives. It was never coming. The only thing that ever comes is the next moment, and what you decide to do with it. Marcus Aurelius died in 180 AD on a military campaign, far from home, in the cold. His journals were never published in his lifetime. He wrote them for himself. And in all those thousands of words, all that struggle and honesty and reaching, what you find, underneath everything, is a man who never stopped trying to deserve the life he was given. That's all any of us can do. But we have to actually do it.